My one-hit kill sister.
In the beginning, it can be seen that the three orc brothers are attacking a village. People are running for their lives while others are getting killed by the three orc brothers. One of the orc brothers turns to their big brother and tells him that it looks like there's no one else to challenge them. And the other little brother also turns and says that the village now belongs to them, the three orc brothers. The big brother agrees and tells them to raise a glass and to have a wild celebration. As they celebrate, they ask each other if they will find more humans that are still alive if they look around. The three orc brothers are surprised to hear the steps of a human approaching them. They look back and see a young kid and ask who he was. The kid tells them that he is Ikusaba Asahi and an adventurer. The first orc asks, "An adventurer?" while the big brother asks the kid if he will manage to take them on all by himself. The other orc asks, "A pipsqueak like you against us, the three orc brothers?" Asahi tells them that it would be in their best interests not to attack him, because if they attack and regret it afterwards, it will be too late. As the big orc jumps trying to attack Asahi, an explosion occurs around him, and a giant sharp rock in front pierces his chest and takes him all the way up. The other two orcs attempt to run, but a girl appears flying in the air and jumps on the big orc, sending an explosion into one of the orcs. The orc explodes and dies. The other orc blocks the passage as he tries to flee from the girl. Asahi is looking at his body lying in the streets, dead after a car hit him while he was attempting to save a girl from the car. He also wonders how everyone will react when they learn he's dead, especially his sister Maya Ni. As he worries about all of that, a light shines in front of him and pulls him inside. He realizes that he is in a completely different world and tries to behave like a local as much as possible. Asahi tries to check his phone and to make a call but realizes there's no network. He decides to sell the phone and buy the weapons he needs to help him get ready. Asahi tells her it's his first time. She asks him if he's nervous since it is his first time. He tells her that he's a little nervous and she tells him that's cute. The receptionist tells him that she will take responsibility for telling him everything he needs to know. Asahi writes his name, and the receptionist tells him that they should now choose his first quest together. The receptionist tells him that since it's his first quest, he should begin with something like hunting killer rabbits because they're rated E on the danger scale, so it's a simple hunting quest. Asahi begins crying and screaming Maya Ni's name. Maya Ni appears from where Asahi is sitting helplessly. The wyvern spits another fireball at Maya Ni, but she dodges and comes out of it while flying. She wondered why her body felt light. Asahi is surprised to see that Maya Ni's body did not sustain any damage. Maya Ni asks what's happening to her because she feels strength and wisdom surging within her. Asahi was surprised that his sister took down the wyvern with one blow. Asahi asks his sister why she is with him in another world. He wonders if what is happening is an illusion. Maya Ni interrupts Asahi from his guesses as she jumps on him and tells him that his big sister missed him. Asahi asks why she ended up in the world he's in. She thanks him for asking and tells him that when he fell into a coma after the accident, she was beside him as his older sister and was worrying about him. She tells him that in his sleep he began talking about this and that in another world, and from time to time he'd laugh as if he was having fun. So she formed a hypothesis that maybe his spirit had traveled to a different world. Asahi asks Maya Ni why she was so strong back when she was fighting the wyvern. She tells him that the power of big sister's love for her younger brother is mighty, so that might be the reason. Asahi tells her it doesn't explain anything. She asks him, does it matter? And gives him her hand, telling him that they should go. Asahi asks if they should go back to their world. Maya Ni kills the last of the three orc brothers. Asahi tells her that she's absolutely merciless. Maya Ni tells him how she could possibly have forgiven them when they called him a pipsqueak. She tells him such an insult warrants death. Asahi asks Maya Ni if that's what she's focused on. She grabbed Asahi by the face and noticed a scratch in his right eye. She tells him that they will need to use an elixir, but Asahi refuses, telling her that most people use those to take on the final boss. Asahi tells her that a bit of spit is enough to heal a scratch. Maya Ni asks him if he means a bit of spit while licking her lips with her tongue. She tells him that he wants his big sister to lick him all over and asks him if that is what he is saying. Ikusaba looks at her and tells her that it's not what he means, but Maya Ni still jumps on him and tells him that they are siblings, so there's nothing to be embarrassed about. A little girl says she has the answer to that and points at Asahi, saying he's the man who has killed the monsters for them. An older person breaks down in tears and calls Asahi a powerful hero. They tell the rest of the villagers that they should praise the powerful hero. Asahi asks his big sister if it seems like what she did has been attributed to him somehow. Maya Ni tells him that there is nothing wrong with that because she is so proud to hear everyone cheering for her little brother. Back to the Adventurers Guild, the receptionist congratulates Asahi. He asks what it's all about and she tells him that his rank has risen. He has jumped from the rabbit class to the ogre class. Asahi is begging Maya Ni to hide her strength and make it seem like he's the strong one. Maya Ni tells him that even if she doesn't understand, she'll do as he says. Asahi tells Maya Ni that he should check her statistics. She asks what the stats are, and he tells her her numbers. She tells him that she will show him, but only for him because he is special. She reaches for his hand and places it on her chest, and tells him that from top to bottom they are 92-58. Asahi is shocked and tells her that he didn't mean her measurements. Maya Ni tells Asahi that she wants to see his numbers, like the number of beauty marks on his body. She jumps on him. As they're having their moment, they hear a woman's voice screaming a male name, saying, "Siegfried-sama!" Asahi and Maya Ni peek through a corner to see what's going on. Asahi asks if they are famous, and a voice from the crowd tells him they are the strongest party, Clan Balmonk. They are heading to defeat the Demon King. Ikusaba asks Asahi if there is also a demon in this world, and Maya Ni asks about the demon. Asahi tells her that the Demon King is a final boss, and in the isekai stuff, defeating a Demon King can sometimes send you back to your own world. As they talk, a man begins causing chaos because the Balmonk leader who controls him is gone. The people begin telling Asahi to fight the man to protect them from him. Asahi tells Maya Ni to help him fight and take the man down. He will do whatever she asks of him. Asahi and Maya Ni scare the man away, and the village applauds them. In the beginning, Ikusaba Asahi is in the middle of a slime hunting quest as a novice adventurer. Asahi says he's embarrassed to say that he can finally beat a single slime easily because that is his level. On the other hand, Maya Ni uses her power, calling it Big Sister Fire, and manages to take down about 100,000 slimes. Asahi wonders what the name of the Big Sister Fire attack is. Maya Ni turns to Asahi and says that it looks like Asahi has also taken care of things on his end. The leader of Clan Balmonk is badly injured and is on his knees while holding his sword. He looks around to see that all his teammates were lying dead. He says they have driven off dragons, yet they have been reduced to this current state. He looks around and sees the Demon King they've been fighting sitting on some rocks in front of him. The leader of the clan, Balmonk, rises and jumps with his sword to attack the Demon King, but is stopped by the Demon King after she raises her hand to him and casts magic on him, killing him on the spot. The Demon King says, "What a bore," and complains that they all fell after only one hit. She asks where to find a fearless fighter who can entertain her properly. Ikusaba Asahi draws close to her and tells her that it is because of her that she is always dressing in a way that makes her catch a cold. He took his coat and wrapped it around her. Maya Ni looks at him and tells him that he should warm her up with his body heat. Maya Ni opens a window from her room from an upstairs building and begins talking to herself. She's glad she followed Asahi into this world. After all, she gets to be with Asahi from when they say good morning to when they say good night. She tells herself she bet he is in the next room thinking the same thing. Maya Ni is shocked when she realizes that she cannot sense Ikusaba Asahi's presence in the next room. Maya Ni touches Asahi's bed and realizes that the place where Asahi slept is still warm. What about his bed? She jumps on Asahi's bed and says she can feel his warmth and scent as she flips herself in his bedding. Asahi thanks Tanya, the receptionist, and tells her that he's in her hands. Tanya tells him that if she had to recommend the perfect quest to match his ogre class rank, she would show him a troll hunting quest or a quest to swipe a wyvern's egg. Asahi is frightened about the recommended quest and says that both quests have a high difficulty level. Tanya tells him there are only rabbit and goblin class quests near where they are. Tanya tells Asahi that it might be fulfilling for someone who's in ogre's class. Asahi tells her that no matter how small the request could be, someone has to fulfill it. Tanya agrees and tells him that she'll leave it to him. Asahi speaks to himself that it is just looking for mushrooms, so he should be able to handle it without the help of Maya Ni. Asahi is collecting mushrooms in Claudio Forest. He asks himself why there are no adventurers in the forest. As he looks around, he sees a warning sign that says, "Beware of bears." Unfortunately, the bear finishes the mushrooms and begins planning to attack Asahi again. But the Demon King showed up and killed the bear with her magic. Asahi lands on her breasts. He thinks it's Maya Ni's because of her breasts, the timing, and the scent. Asahi apologizes that Maya Ni has saved him again, and he is useless without his big sister. The Demon King looked around and told Asahi that his gratitude was a little premature. Asahi looks around and sees that bears surround them and starts panicking. The bears launched an attack and started running towards the Demon King and Asahi. Asahi is surprised and says, "A huge bear is talking and wearing clothes?" The Demon King says she thought it might show up eventually if she kept hunting bears in that area. Kaiser Bear says she loves fighting and hunts fellow demons to test her strength, which is something that is often said of Kilmaria of Corruption. Kilmaria laughs and says, "What beautiful compliments." The Kaiser Bear warms up his power and breathes fire against Kilmaria and Asahi. Kilmaria tells him he called her his big sister, so she has to save her little brother. Kilmaria tells Asahi to stand back, and it's her turn. Asahi talks to himself, thinking Kilmaria is incredibly powerful. He thinks she's as strong as Maya Ni or even stronger. Kilmaria nods and tells him that she is a top-ranking officer in the Demon King's army, one of the Demon King's 6 generals, Kilmaria of Corruption. Asahi is surprised and says he feels like she just used an incredible string of words. He says she's like the Warring Triad, the 4 Divas, or the 7 Heroes, somebody like those. She has zero interest in weaklings, so she will not attack him. Asahi talks to himself, thinking that just because she's a demon doesn't mean humans are automatically her enemies, and on top of that, she has saved him twice. Kilmaria tells Asahi that a sister who would pounce on her little brother doesn't exist. Asahi tells her she exists and is not far from here. Kilmaria asks Asahi if she can ask him anything. Asahi tells her if it's something he can answer, then he will. She asks if he knows any adventurer named Ikusaba Asahi. Kilmaria picks up the medallion and realizes that Asahi is the young man she saved. She stops him and says she really must not judge a book by its cover. Asahi lands on Maya Ni's breasts, and this time he gets the same scent and timing that confirms that it is indeed Maya Ni. Kilmaria asks if Maya Ni is the one who attacked her. They started fighting, and their powers seem to match each other. As Kilmaria and Maya Ni continue to fight, Kilmaria enjoys the fight and keeps smiling, but she fails to overcome Maya Ni. Kilmaria accepts defeat and tells Maya Ni to finish her off, but Asahi stops Maya Ni from killing Kilmaria because she saved him twice. As Maya Ni and Asahi return, Kilmaria says she has met the most interesting siblings. Let's see what is going to happening next with adventurer Asahi and his overloving sister Maya Ni. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel.